and welcome to Black Pumps TV. We're so excited as always, especially when we're talking to our young adults who are doing amazing things. Today we are joined by Kene Ojukwu, who is also a medical doctor. Hello Kene, how are you?
I'm good. It's good to be here.
Where's your name from?
I'm Nigerian.
Nigeria.
Yes.
How do you say it?
It's Kenechukwu Ojukwu.
Kenechukwu Ojukwu.
Yes, that's the
Okay.
full version.
Does it mean anything?
It does mean thank God.
Thank God.
And Ojukwu, I'm told, means warrior.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, you look like a warrior. And you went to Berkeley, right, for your undergrad?
I did. Yes.
Undergrad. So she's a medical doctor. So let me ask you a question. Actually, I'm going right into it.
Mm-hmm.
What made you become a doctor? And when did you start thinking that you want to be a doctor?
So
2 questions in one.
Okay. So I joke with my friends
Okay,
that
yeah.
when I was age 7,
Oh.
I said out loud in front of my parents that I wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
And they held me to it.
That's what we do. We're Nigerian parents, right?
So, but I think in terms of becoming a doctor, I loved science growing up.
Okay.
I was always trying to catch bugs and dissect them. So I think as I kept going in my studies, I continued to enjoy science.
Uh-huh.
And with time,
Yeah.
eventually found the path that led me to medicine. There are other ways you can go with science, but
Okay.
for me, it felt more comfortable in being able to serve
Yeah.
populations, tell populations about their body,
Okay.
tell people about their body and help them
Okay.
understand how to live a more healthy life.
Okay.
So I think medical school,
Medical. Okay.
it made me even fall in love even more with medicine.
Okay. So I also know that you have a doctor in your family. Your uncle is a doctor.
Yes.
I'm not sure who inspired you. Do you have someone that inspired you to wanting to become a doctor? Other than the fact that your parents held you to it, as Nigerian parents, you said it, and you're our first child, you should be a doctor.
I don't know if I would. I definitely, my uncle being a doctor has played a role.
Okay.
In terms of me as a undergrad being able to work in his office and get
Okay.
a better idea
Okay.
of what medicine is,
Okay.
which I was very grateful for to have that opportunity.
Okay.
I think it also, in addition to that, was my understanding. So in high school, I actually encountered a video where I saw cranial facial surgery.
Oh.
Kind of like Operation Smile. And
Oh.
you saw these young kids
Yeah.
get this operation that changed their lives
my
forever.
gosh. Yeah.
And to me, that was inspiring to be
Uh-huh.
able to serve somebody and change their life.
Okay. So is it fair to say that you're passionate about what you do?
Oh, yes, definitely. I wouldn't be able to do it without passion.
What is passion?
Ah,
What does
so-
passion mean?
So I would say passion is a strong desire
Okay.
to continue.
Okay.
So whether it's to continue to learn, continue
Okay.
to do,
Okay.
continue to engage.
Yes.
For me, that's what passion means.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It kind of helps you do what you love to do.
Exactly.
Right?
And it triggers and it motivates. And it's very much an action word, even
It's
though
an
it's a
action
noun.
word. Oh, okay. Okay. So you're passionate about it and you pursue your passion.
Yes.
And you love medicine. So in the process of doing all this, do you ever have obstacles or challenges? And if you do or did, how did you handle it?
Definitely. There's a lot of challenges, but I don't think that's unique necessarily to my journey to medicine.
Right.
I think in life we all have a lot of challenges.
Yes. Yes.
No
no matter what you do, right?
Yeah, yeah. Some of the challenges I've faced include realizing what the goal is and trying to learn the steps to get to the goal.
Okay.
As you mentioned, my uncle was a physician,
Okay.
and his steps were a certain way to be able to get where he is,
Okay.
and mine, I had to make sure I had the right grades, had to make sure had talked to the right schools to understand what was required, and I think in doing that, I learned what resources I had. I had to gather resources.
Yeah.
And that was a challenge, but it was doable with a lot of questioning and using the people around me. Yeah.
Oh, really? That's really good. So we see that you have a passion of helping people,
Yes.
of healing people,
Yes.
and you're doing that so well. So I'm just going to ask you an odd question. What if you're not a doctor? What other profession would you have considered?
That's actually one of my favorite questions. because I ask that to myself at least 3 times a year.
Okay.
Because it's not easy to do work that's supposed to be hard and keep going.
Yes.
I actually love to teach.
Okay.
The first time I wrote a letter to go to med school, my counselor actually handed me back the letter and said, "This sounds like you want to be a teacher.
Oh,
redo that." So I learned that doctor means teacher.
Teacher.
So I actually think within being a physician, I'm able to do some of that. But if not, I probably would be honestly a high school chemistry teacher.
Oh, wow.
Because I think chemistry was
so specific.
But chemistry was one of those really tough subjects for me, and I later realized it's because my teacher didn't teach it to me well.
Oh.
And my second go at it, I learned it, and I learned it very well because I had a good teacher.
Oh, wow.
So
does that mean you're going to pursue, what is it called, academic medicine? I remember when they tried to push my son into that. So that's how I know that, that word.
Yes, definitely. I think in academia there needs to be more people who definitely are engaged with students and engaged with the learning population. Everything from the fact that I'm a woman to the fact that I'm a black woman, I think all those things are necessary to be seen in academia. And in this many years in academia, I'm not sure if I've seen enough of that. I would like to see more. So that means I need to contribute in that regard.
You just read something, black woman. So what does it mean to be a black woman in America and in your field? What does that mean?
I think it means being aware that first perceptions are not always going to be what you expect them to be.
Okay.
Everybody knows in being a woman, there are certain mentalities out there that see a woman and a man, and they feel a man has certain capabilities that a woman doesn't. And I don't think that's true. I think that's rarely true.
That's okay.
So I think it's important that women see all sorts of people doing what they want to do, and being a woman able to go into whether it's surgery, whether it's medicine, being able to really be active in medicine, give somebody else somebody they can see to be inspired.
So they can be inspired, or they can have a mentor who is men.
Or women. I think it's important to have a diverse group of mentors.
And they don't have to be black. Your mentors, they don't have to be black. They could also be white, Asian, anything.
What they have to do is actually care about your success.
Exactly.
And earnestly care about your success. I would say that's one thing I've learned in searching out
You have to have
mentors.
that communication and that bond for them to help you.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So, talking about mentors.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you mentor anyone?
I
or is it
would
something
say,
that you would like to do?
Currently, I don't actively mentor. I've developed friendships with a lot of people who I would have called mentees, so they're more my friends now.
You're their role model.
But I love mentoring. I think it's wonderful to be able to engage with somebody, learn their strengths, learn their weaknesses, be able to find resources to provide to them. And I think it's necessary, particularly in the professional world. You need to have somebody who can at least lay out the steps for you, so you know how to get where you are.
You just took that word out of my mouth. You said in the professional world. I was going to ask you if that's important in your profession.
Very important. I think it's very important. I think that's something that some people lack access to, being able to see somebody who's already been through it.
Right.
And not just people who are maybe 10 years ahead of you, but 20 years, 30 years.
Right.
All levels, because things are continuously changing.
Right.
Yeah.
So you probably have maybe one mentor or one or two, because so in my world, which is a little bit different, we kind of have mentors, and then we have what we call like sponsors. And sponsors are these people that can also open doors for you. Like my mentor doesn't have to be a CPA. My mentor could be a doctor.
Right.
But my sponsor has to be a CPA, someone who can literally open doors for me and, pound on the table if need be.
Yes.
So do you guys have that in your profession?
I think it's similar. One of my medical directors basically told me, she said, you want people who you can go to in the times of need. Give them a call.
Yes.
But then you also want people who are bigwigs too.
Yes.
Able to,
they're very important.
to really open doors and give you opportunities.
Yes.
So part
Yeah.
of that is being able to
Yeah.
communicate and network. And networking is a good thing. A lot of people think it's a bad word.
No,
but
no,
it's
no,
a
no.
very
In our
important
world,
thing.
it's very good. I mean, you have to
Yeah.
network. You have
Yeah.
to network.
Yeah.
You have to network. So let me ask you, we've talked about mentors, we've talked about sponsorships, and what three advice or advices do you have to give to a student who is watching this and they want to become a doctor? Perhaps they're Nigerian. Perhaps their mother is saying, hey, you told me you're going to be a doctor, you better do it.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for them?
I would say one of the things I would say is watch who you surround yourself with.
Whether you're trying to go to medical school or not, that's a key. That's key.
So with family, you don't get to
Yes.
pick them. You get your family.
Yes,
But
yes.
with your friends, you
Yes.
get to pick them.
Yes.
And believe it or not, you end up developing some of the traits
Yes.
that the people you hang around have. So if you
Right.
want to be a hard worker, find hardworking friends.
Yes.
If you want to be intelligent, find intelligent friends. The minute you look around and you're the smartest, the most intelligent, the everything you
move.
are, it's time to, find a group that is constantly enhancing yourself, and also be ready to give to people just like you're receiving. Don't be a selfish friend.
So you're saying that being a nerd is okay?
Oh, I love it. Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
indeed.
I think it's a necessity, at least in my field.
Yeah.
I never mastered being the cool person.
Yeah,
so,
you
and
have
I'm
to.
okay with it.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
what other advice do you have for them?
You did say 3. So I would say find what you're passionate about and continue to pursue that. Even if you find out from medicine, for instance, they often say you have to do research.
Right.
I don't like bench research. A lot of people do, where you mix chemicals,
Yeah.
but I enjoy people. So I did research in conflict management
Okay.
among medical students.
Okay.
And that's unique. But I was
That's very
passionate
good. Yeah,
about
yeah.
people. So you have to find what you're passionate about. And then the third one, I would say work hard, and not just hard work, but work for excellence, because
Okay.
it's hard to dispute excellence. Whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, whether you're black, you're Asian, you're Latino, it's hard to
It's
dispute
hard.
excellence.
You know, it reminds me. It's not part of this, but it reminds me what I worked for this guy. He's Asian. When I was starting out my career, and then I was debating whether should I do tax or should I continue as an auditor. And he's like, "Noni, do tax, because it's hard for them to challenge your excellence. You know it or you don't know it."
Yes.
So. And that's why I stuck with tax. You
Okay,
know, I have
yeah.
an accent, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is where I can really excel, because it's all technical and you have to love it. So
Yeah.
anyway, so that's
Yeah.
an aside.
Yeah.
So that's very good advice that you have for kids. Do you have any for the parents who actually make their kids? No, because all the parents, they all want, especially Nigerian parents, we like them to be doctors, engineers, lawyers.
Yeah.
What advice? I know you're young, but what advice? You've been there.
Yeah.
You have siblings.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for parents who want to push their children, especially the tiger moms?
I would say pay attention to your kids' strength.
Yes.
Kids have different strengths.
Yeah.
I know that I will keep working. I will keep working to get what I want.
Yes.
And that persistence is not people like to do what they're going to succeed in.
Yes.
So some kids, after they work on something,
Yeah.
they don't like it. They want to do something
Yeah.
else because they don't feel good. And I think it's okay for them to
Yeah.
try something else.
Yeah.
Be there to brainstorm with them and introduce to them different ideas.
All right.
And then I would say also role model what you preach.
Oh, but if you're not a doctor, how do you role model it?
But you role model serving the
Hard work,
community.
yes. Okay.
You always see yourself in your parents in a way,
Yes.
especially as you get older. And oftentimes, whatever their faults are, you see it in yourself.
That's so true.
So it's important
That is so
to
true.
role model and pay attention to who your kids are
That is
and
so
what
true.
they thrive in.
That is so true.
And I think they will be happy to know that somebody knows them.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's
very,
what I would
very,
say.
very sound advice. Very sound advice. I think you're too wise. Okay, so let me just kind of do more fun things here
Okay.
and ask you, what do you do for fun? Or is that a strange word?
No. So I think it's important to have fun.
Okay.
So I've picked up kickboxing.
Okay.
That's
Ooh,
fun.
Yeah.
I love dancing.
Okay.
And then
I know that.
and then I do like Sudoku.
Okay.
It works your mind, and
Yeah.
it's, you know, it's easy and fun.
And she gambles in politics here and there.
Very rarely. But yeah, I've been forced to pay attention.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
So I know when we were talking, you actually talked about serving the community. So let me ask you, if you were given, if I were to give you $1 million right now, what would you spend it on?
Honestly, the two things I would start off doing, I would definitely take care of my parents.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure that they're settled in terms of a place to be.
Okay. Okay.
And, be able to enjoy.
That's a nice kid.
And then I need to pay off some loans.
Okay.
I would take care of that. And then I would look towards starting a nonprofit business. I think there are a lot of
She's being very honest and practical here. She's going to say, "Oh, I'm gonna move to Africa and build a wellness center."
Oh. No, but I will start a nonprofit company
Yes.
that will assist people to do that.
Yeah.
So that's my hope, to be able to consult within the nonprofit.
Eventually.
Yes.
Eventually.
By God's grace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This has been so wonderful. Now, but this is something that I ask every millennial. Because we're in social media world. If you were to describe yourself in one hashtag, what would that be? So you're going to say hashtag that.
I would say hashtag thank God. So my name, like I told you, means Ojukwu means thank God.
Okay.
And I feel like, especially as you asked before,
Yeah.
with challenges, one of the things is whenever I go through a challenge, as much as I hate it or I hate life, I have to thank God because that's my name.
Yes, yes. That's
So
a good name. It's serving you well.
Yeah, so within the midst of disturbances, it's important to thank God. So hashtag thank God.
God.
Yes.
That is so good. I like that. I like that. I like that. Thank you so much, Kene.
Thank you for
Thank you,
having
thank
me.
you, thank
It was
you.
a pleasure.
Same here. I always love how